Hey, Noel. Hey, congratulations on being named to the All ACC team.
Appreciate that, Jeff.
Just talk about how crazy it is that you're ending up your career playing against UNLV.
Um, you just talk about the matchup and how I feel about
Yeah,
it. I feel good, and I'm just happy I could go out this way with my team, and then just playing the school I first went to. So it's for sure a full circle moment, and I'm just excited for the opportunity to play my last college football game against two teams I've been on or I'm on.
you've been on the cusp of getting that next interception for a while now. Do you feel it in your bones that it's coming at the SoFi Stadium?
For sure, I think every game I can get a pick. So this is just another opportunity to display my skills, and I'm for sure excited to do it in that stadium.
What do you think this season has done for your prospects to play beyond college?
This season's done a lot for me, just helped me learn more about myself and just learn about the people around me. But I feel like it was a good outing. I feel like I could, there's always things I can work on, but it for sure helped me catching 7 picks. It for sure helped my my rating going into the next level.
And there's one or two more out there still for you, huh? Picks.
For sure, for sure.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Matt.
Obviously it's a chance to kind of, you mentioned full circle moment. How many people are you expecting to come watch this game, and what's it mean to you to be able to play, relatively close to home?
I don't know how many people yet, but it's for sure in the double digits. And sorry, say that last part again.
Yeah, just what does it mean to you to play, relatively close to home to kind
Yeah.
of wrap up your college career?
It's just a blessing. My parents for sure are gonna come out and like you said, for a certain moment, like I just never thought. I always thought in the back of my head this maybe could happen. Like last year, they had early predictions going, but I was like, it'll never happen. And then this year, it happened. So it's just a blessing in disguise, man. I'm just trying to focus on my game, not try to make it bigger than me, of course, but it's just a blessing, really.
Talking to Coach Sermon and talking to Coach Trey, during the year, we were, asking about just kind of the conversations you guys had last offseason. And Coach Sermon said that, sometimes you have to kind of just look in the mirror, or kind of you have to be faced with some difficult conversations about, like, hey, you need to do these things to reach your goals. What do you remember about those conversations with the staff when you were trying to decide what to do last year, and what you needed to prove to, show NFL teams like, hey, I can play at that level?
Yeah. First, Coach Sermon, we talked on pro day. He just gave me just good advice on how the NFL evaluates, and it's all just criticism, seeing how I can take it. But for sure, like you said, look in the mirror. He just said work on the things that the NFL think you're weak at, basically. And that's what I did. I didn't like see it as them knocking me. I just seen it as a test. So, and then with my position coaches, I would say just being consistent on tape every game, like just putting it on tape every game. That was the biggest emphasis for me. So, I try to just take what they said and run with it throughout the off season and let it fuel me in the right ways. And for sure it helped me having those uncomfortable conversations. But it's not. I know it's part of the process, so it wasn't like comfortable, but it was just a good conversation to have in the off season with those guys. So
And in terms of just their development, obviously the production is there, and you can see the numbers, you see the interceptions. How much has there been growth in your game, and how much is it just maybe making better, taking advantage more of these opportunities that you're getting? Or have you seen real growth in your game since last year?
yeah, I've seen growth in my game. Just mentally, I feel like I'm in a better space than I was last year, and of course, I learned the game more from an offensive perspective. I feel like what the offense wants to do, and then just my body. I feel like I was working on my body a lot this offseason, transform and try to just get in best shape as possible. So everything just plays a factor into my growth from last season, this season, just the off season, being in the film room, and just mentally just growing as a person.
Thanks.
We'll go back to Jeff.
So Nohl, what were those specific criticisms that Coach said that the NFL would have for you? I'm wondering what things did you focus on that you knew you had to be better at?
I would say my change of direction and tackling, even though tackling is always something I can always work on, and just not showing flashes and then dipping off. My play, just being neutral and always like being myself when it comes to scouts watching film. Just putting my identity on the film. So I would say that was like the bigger picture, but like one thing I was working on a lot was my ankle mobility. That was something that was like a small little detail that scouts had for me, the way I move and my ankle. They said I have stiff ankles, so.
Stiff ankles, huh?
Yeah.
Who knew? And one of the things that, scouts often look at quarterbacks and find out, do they like contact? Do they like the physical part of the game? It's one thing to play coverage. It's another thing to make tackles. I think you had 50 tackles this year. Are you proud of the improvement you made there?
For sure. I don't even know how many tackles I had last year, so I haven't really compared my seasons just yet. So I didn't even know I had 50 tackles.
You feel like you're more effective in that area, though?
Yeah, for sure, more effective. I feel like just my technique and the way, there's always improvement because there's some tackles I missed this season still, but I feel like it for sure got better.
Hey, thanks. Have fun.
Thank
We'll
you.
go back to Matt.
There's been a lot of highlight moments for yourself, making plays on special teams as well as defense in big games. Do you have a favorite moment of the season? Obviously, you came back for a reason and you came back to kind of help your draft stock, but there's a lot of big moments just for you personally along the way, maybe as a team. But is there anything that really stands out to you about, hey, this kind of made it feel right that I came back and did this thing or saw this thing or was part of this thing?
Yeah, I would just say, like, of course, I enjoy the big moments, like the big game after Auburn, and just atmospheres like Miami. But I would just say just enjoying myself, being in college just one last year, just enjoying the memories when it comes to workouts, just chilling with my guys, to the bus rides, the plane rides, the flights, just taking in those moments. So I feel like that was the most important. Like, it was like a string of moments that just made it all come together for me.
And maybe on that note, we were just talking to Will, and he mentioned, he went to a bowl game, I think, every year. And sometimes these lose significance, when you think about, what teams are playing for and everything that's going on this time of year. But for you, does it feel like a chance to kind of savor the end of your college career a little bit, just being able to play in a bowl game?
For sure, because this is only my second bowl game in my career. So for sure, this is the way I want to go out playing against my old team in LA, SoCal. It's like I'm not numb to this feeling. I'm very excited for the opportunity. So I'm just ready to perform.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.